Yeah, basically, we got to stop being reactionary and be proactive on a lot of things. But what I found out, the black man is being given due justice because we don't control the media. And you always hear on the front pages and everywhere thing about the negativity of us. But I would say at least 89% of us are doing good. Taking care of our families, working every day, struggling, but we're not coming together to share that energy. And that's part of what you see what's going on today. So the negative gets all the credit.
Yeah.
and that's not good. At a cost for those on the front line, because we've been on the front line for a minute.
Right.
We're on the front line at a cost for our life. But yet some people getting the cost in their life. And that's got to stop. Because we're on the front line and there's somebody else benefiting from what we're doing, standing up as a man for our community. That's not good at all. So, and most of the people, we was talking about earlier, a lot of people, they talk about the negativity of what we're going through, and they hate on us, but yet they hate because we're doing something. And if they spend half of that energy doing something, they won't have time to hate.
Yeah.
The easy solution.
But one thing I think about in that, and I say this all the time, I think in our community, there's a dire need for real mentoring. Like,
you mean like a Big Brothers program?
You can say that, but I don't mean their version of mentoring. I mean the version that we need. I'll just give you an example. So we look at this situation with the shooting. When we look at it from the term of numbers, say we lost 6 black youth, right? Including the child that lost his life. So that's 6 people out of our community that had the potential, if nurtured, to help build the community. So now you got lost this, the questions come, where you going to replace it with? Who are you going to put now to replace the strength that our community needs that was lost with these individuals for senseless violence, right? And who's going to plant the seeds to build that necessary tree? For me, I think that's extremely important for us to pay attention to, and then discover how did we lose them, and really look into it. What happened that put these youth in that position, that their mindset didn't see this is something I shouldn't do, right? Because all of us, especially the older brothers, they're going to say, when I was young, we had a certain amount of respect, or we had, okay, how did they lose it? What role did we play in it, us, as their older generation, in them losing that? And now what we going to do to rectify it?
Well, a lot of it is fear, and it's a shame that a lot of the men that say they're men, they fear being out in the street. And I really have a problem sometimes with faith-based, whether it's Judaism, whether it's Christianity, or whether it's Islam. If you're saying you believe in Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad, and they was on the front line in the community in the street without no fear, not a gun, not a knife, or nothing. And we want to follow that. Mm-hmm. And we are fearful going out in our communities to save another brother, or even to speak to him. That's the real model. That's the real, you want to train them how to be a man, but you don't want to go to them. It's not always in a classroom or in a church or synagogue where you can actually feel what somebody's going through.
Right.
That's usually after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
But the real struggle is in our community and in the street. And that's not going to change unless we go out there and do that. That's the solution. That's real mentorship. When you go out there and put your life on the line for your youth and your family, your community. Because you're right. You have to affect the young people when they get with these shootings. But there's another effect too. Because now the mother of the child that the person did it is going to do time. His child is going to do time, going back and forth to jail, putting money on the books, taken away from our communities. And it's no coincidence that we have more black men in jail than anywhere in the world. If that's not enslavement, I don't know what else to call it. So, you know, what's the solution to that? If we have to also get into the jail and change that, because when they come out, they're the same animal. It's just going back and forth because it's about corrections. It's not about rehabilitation.
Okay. Well, it's a business.
Exactly.
And here you're saying, if you look at, and that's a part of the system. Me and my brother was talking about this situation, right? Because for me, I look at the youth, even though it's like tragic what happened. This stuff happened every day. It just don't reach that level. But it's happening in the community every day, right? And people are not, what's up, my brother? People are not addressing the problem on a regular basis. So now when you have the problem, you're gonna say what? Okay, it's a business. Whoever go to jail, you said the brothers get 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. You talking about an average, just in taxpayers' dollars, about $40,000 a year for each person minimum, and sometimes more than that. When you talk about programming and different stuff they need, so each of those brothers are worth probably $50,000 to $60,000. And then when you look at it, that those jails that they're building, that they're holding them, are usually in country areas, where on the countryside, where white people are getting those jobs. In the prison, that's who the COs are. There's some, but they're cousins and generations. So you're destroying one community and building another one that's going to oppress the community you, because we're their bread and butter, and we never fail to feed them.
Well, that's state property.
But I'm saying, so when you're looking at the whole issue, so we're seeing that, you know, the businesses that's made out of that, and then you look at the person and say, well, these young brothers, you know, they was, no doubt, no one's going to disagree that stuff is not acceptable. But my thing is, okay, what did we have in place for that not to happen, right? Because if you go back, I think since 1988, from that point on, in the black community in Atlantic City, when the feds first came in 1980, beginning February 19, there was 88, 87, all the murders, right? When they arrested that first group, you'll notice every so many years, they've been repeating that in Atlantic City in the black community. So they had this gang and this group and this, and they've been taking groups and groups of people, right? Don't think they just clearing it, because crime ain't stopped, because you've been doing it already, and this is almost 30 years later. And you've been doing it consistently, right? So it ain't cleaned up the problem, so it's become like business. Because the problem has a root, and you're not addressing that root. And my wife said something beautiful, gotta give her credit, don't want to steal her words. She said, whenever you combine poverty and unemployment together, you got a problem. That's where you're gonna get crime. So you ain't addressing the unemployment, you ain't addressing poverty, and I would like to add to that, education. How far them kids went in school? And how good, because then we got this other thing in school, and that's backfiring us on too, where they're just letting kids get by who ain't not succeeding, just to keep the numbers right. Keep them going. Well, this kid can't function. They don't have the intellectual skills to handle what they're doing. They don't know how to reason well. They ain't been taught.
And one way of addressing it, and you mentioned it, especially about education, because if you controlling the mind of a community, you're controlling that community. And so it used to be a time we were segregated. And when we started integrating, and the teachers came in our community, they don't look like us, they don't know about our culture, and have the education of our minds, that's worse than what Hitler did.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's almost designed that way. Because you're right, incarceration, $40,000 a year for one person. So you can't give them a job for making $20,000 a year out here in the street working and keep the dollar circulating in our community. That's the solution. Businesses, economics. If we had when we had our own in every city in this country, in black communities, and Black Wall Street, you had 125th Street in Harlem. You had Howard University in D.C. You had Uptown in Philadelphia. You had Kentucky Avenue in Atlantic City. Everyone has been gentrified.
Yeah.
All our money taken away, and then you say we don't want to do something for ourselves because you want us to work for you like a slave. That's a problem. But we have to get back to what would really work. When that dollar was circulating in our community, we were taking care of each other.
Yeah.
Because you knew who was what and you knew where the dollar was. But when it started going out, and then the education starts coming out, because the teachers they're educating our children these days, how can we be allowing it and not go to a board meeting and say, listen, what are you doing? What are you doing about the minds of our teachers? But yet, the parents don't come to that. But when they come to sport and play, basketball games, football games, crowd packed. This is the only truth and reality.
Yeah.
But you know
But when
what?
it comes about your money and the education of the mind of your child, I don't have time. Now, how can you explain that to your child after they have developed?
Because we've been taught that our only way out is through sports and entertainment.
Yeah.
If you ask the average young kid, and they're gonna tell you, I want to be some kind of entertainer. The average, I'm not talking about every single kid, you always got exceptions, but generally, some form of entertainment is all they've been told to make it out. And that's what's fed. So that's why, and that's not real. Most people ain't gonna make it through entertainment, right? But that's why all that energy's there. And then the other thing is, because we live in survival mode so much, after being in survival mode, when we're not in that mode, we want to go into entertainment and relaxation mode. So planning and building community and developing future, that takes intellect and thought and work. But I'm in survival mode. I need to relax. I don't got time for that. I gotta do these things just to survive. And now you talking about let's be more serious and plan our future. And I'm worried about tomorrow. So for us, I think we gotta accept that we're gonna lose some people.
Yeah.
And we gotta accept that. And stop concentrating on areas that most likely you're going to fail anyway. And concentrate in areas where you have the most potential of success. And I think that's with the real youth. And I'm talking about maybe 14 years and under. I'm not saying forget the other ones, but your concentrated effort should be on those ones who right now they still have a sense to listen. And it's going away fast. But if you started each one teach one, each one reach one, that type of spirit. Say, okay, I'm gonna take a young buck, you take a young kid, you take a young kid, you take a, and that's gonna be your kid. You're going to watch him, even if you can only do it once a week. We're gonna do that without getting paid, right? For right now, because we don't got the system set up, we ain't gonna get paid. But I just need you to get his kid 3 hours a week. And we're going to help you with that kid. We know who your kid is. So if I got an extra hour and I did my 3, I'm going to get that kid an hour, right? And then you bring, and I'm willing to use the Masjid for this too, right? Because another thing is when we don't have our own, so we got to work according to someone else's bureaucracy with things, or their politics. Well, that was one of the things when I said owning the mosque, because we got the facility, we got the space, we could do it just brothers, and we start serving that group without an agenda of my organization or your, nah, this is just what we're doing as black men. Right?
And you're absolutely right, because, you know, one of the things that we learned, because I'm belonging to National Action Network and Peacekeeper and other organizations, mostly grassroots and on the street, what I learned from that throughout the years is that we had to come together as a coalition.
Right.
Put down the organization and talk about coalition of using our talent and resources to come together as black men. And bringing, so we started meeting together, even if it's 1 hour a month, to bring together our talent and resources to build our own community with the black agenda.
Right.
Dealing with education, dealing with wealth, dealing with, being able to patrol our community and so people can be safe. And you just got to start with something or somewhere. But if you don't have a plan on the agenda, then you somebody else's plan and you become on the plantation. And that's basically where it comes from. Somebody else's plan. But we have an agenda now. We're doing it, but we're not advertising it because we don't control the media. You know what I mean? We don't control what we're doing, but it's happening, and if we can just collaborate with other brothers and sisters to make sure it happens, we're gonna make.
But here's that: we got our own media.
Hold on, I want to talk about that.
And the youth,
I want to talk about.
They know that stuff.
Look, I want to talk about that. You brought up a point there. We talked about this the other day, right? What do you think, right? Because this is a constant thing on Facebook, right? You on Facebook?
Yes, social media.
On social media, Facebook in particular, right? So in this area, in particular, the press of Atlantic City and Breaking AC, Linda Cohen, right? What you think about all that? And like the way that they cover our stuff and the exposure that they give to certain stories and not to other stories.
Well, it's discriminatory. That's the definition of an outright. You're not being fair, and you're not doing no investigative reporting.
Yeah.
Even when you have Action News or Fox News, they just really do a police report.
Yeah, they just wait for somebody. Yeah.
Prosecutor said this and that, and now we judge, jury, and prosecutor of what we read without investigating something.
Yeah.
We ready to slam somebody, beat somebody down, and divide our community, and we don't know the facts of nothing. And like I said, it's the saying is AC, all cousins, everybody related.
Yeah.
So what are we fighting for? And that's why they took away the media. We don't have no Channel 40 News. We don't have no Channel 2 where we used to do commercials and talk about the events that happen in our community. Why do you take all that away? We don't even have a newspaper.
But what, like he said, we have this now. And this is what I was trying to tell people. I brought up Linda Cohen in particular. Right? I don't got no beef with her or nothing. But when last year when we did the video about the coach and everything, right? So when she had inboxed me and she asked if she could use the video and she wanted to run it on a story, I said, yeah, no problem. So she ran it, it got more traction, whole nine. So since then, about 2 or 3 different times, me and her spoke, like privately, and I had asked her, I said, because a lot of times people were kind of like giving her a lot of hell about the way she posts things and the way they say some people say she's racist, some people say she's biased, she only posts things about the negative things of our community, right? So what happened, I had asked her before, I said, listen, sometimes I think they be giving you an unfair shake. Now, I asked her, I said, if you're part of our community, because she was telling me like, look, I feel kind of bad sometimes because people be ragging me and I don't really get a lot of help and I'm just telling the stories the way I'm hearing them or the way that people are telling me. I'm just a reporter. And I said, well, if you're part of this community, why don't you come in here, let us interview you and let the people know about you, your backstory, how you came up with this, who you are. And so she said to me, she said, yeah, well, I can't, I would love to, but I gained a lot of weight. And I don't want to be on camera,
listen,
right?
You can just do the picture. You just the
Yeah.
You want to get out of it,
Like
just say
say
no. How many of us don't have no place else to go to expose the hypocrisy of government and what white folks been doing for us for years? Where you going to go?
No, but that's the thing. We got an even playing field now.
Here's my thing, what I'm saying.
Media. You have to create.
We have it. Because you got social media.
You got social media.
Yeah.
We got, let's not exaggerate. We got tens of ghostwriters. Black. You go to all these colleges, just in our surround, and since we got, this stuff is easy when you got the computers and social media. We got journalists that are in schools right now. Rutgers, Stockton, ACC people who want to write, English majors, a bunch of teachers who They don't want to be out front.
Mm-hmm.
But they would write, they would help from behind the scenes.
Yeah.
There are people who they can make movies.
Mm-hmm.
You got kids in high school.
They just making movies and videos.
Stuff.
Yeah.
So what we gotta start doing
Bringing them together.
is bringing all our resources together, right? And produce what we need for our communities. And I'll give you an example, because I lived it. So I give you this example. I grew up, as you know, in the Ansar community. Ansar law in Brooklyn, right? In Philly, we was all over the country. And you know, I look at today and I look at people and say, oh, it was deviant, they wasn't this, blah. All right, great, I got all that, right? Check this out. We had our own real estate. In every major city where we were at, we had blocks of real estate. We was in Brooklyn with brownstones, bro. You know how much that cost? Square blocks, 7, 8 square blocks. We had our own businesses. We had our own printing press, papers, pamphlets, books. They published themselves, self-published over 400 books and a paper every week. The Nation did the same, printing, papers being sold. So this was the black community. We always had the black press. Christians were doing that, right? So, well, my point is, the discussion with Linda Cohen or the press, or we don't need them. Especially with all the skills we got. What we don't have, what we had then, is black pride and unity.
Yeah. That's my
missing.
point. That's my point.
We've bought into the idea that we're not important.
And the other thing is,
And so that's saying Black Lives Matter. It shouldn't be just a slogan. Black people matter.
Yeah.
Not just our lives. We matter. And no one's going to do that for us but us. And I call it. We've through money, economics, through education, through religion, we've put ourselves back into slavery to others.
Yeah.
And we got an educational excuse why I'm a slave. We got an economic excuse why I'm a slave. We got a religious excuse why I'm a slave. The reality is, I'm a slave.
right?
And now when you gonna say I ain't a slave no more? Right?
And you're exactly right, because that comfort zone that a lot of the professionals, the judges, the lawyers, the blacks, the ones that have all the money, too afraid to go out there in our communities. And it's a sad thing that, you know, sometimes this violence and what's going on in our community can happen to anybody. It's just like having a car accident sometimes. So to be in the comfort zone and saying it's not going to happen to you, and you're a judge and walking across the street and a bullet come by, then you're not, it can happen to you too. Yeah. So we got to stop saying that we're in the comfort, thinking that we're in the comfort zone because we haven't making a little money. Only to pay a few bills to try to build a credit that this country never had. Yeah. And that's a shame that we rather than die for that, and we spend all that time to enslave ourselves. Like you said, it's sad. But it all goes back to part of the education. Because one thing about it, you know, they say, oh, they're always blaming it on the parents. Well, most children, Monday through Friday, going to school. They start off 8 o'clock in the morning, they may get up at 7. Then you're going to school up to about 2 or 3 o'clock, you come home. The parent not with you, somebody else is. Now, when you come home from school, by the time you get your clothes together, something to eat, it's time to do homework, time to go to sleep, ready again. So it's only a few hours, especially if you're a single parent. How are you going to, and you're struggling to keep a roof over your head? That's reality. But if you have the proper income, then we can spend more time. Because how many of us actually spend time, and that's one thing about we got to get back to, and we've been successful in doing it, getting at the table and eating together. When you eat together, and you pray together, you stay together. I mean, that's reality. And put the cell phone down at least for half an hour to eat. You know what I mean? It's just simple things. You know what I mean? That we get back to. You know what I mean? And then it can help us strive towards getting better. But no, one final thing was that on that the education part. You know, they have in New Jersey what they call an homicide, and we've been challenging homicide, which is a slave ship that was brought here with slaves on it.
Yeah.
So what happened? It's a mandated in New Jersey that it's a part of a curriculum just like math, English, and science. That we have Black history that you have to learn, and it's still homicide. Now here it is, the teachers, because they white, are they going to teach our children about the history of how great they was and the kings they was and how they treated us? Is that really going to happen? Does that really happen? See, that's what we said about integration. But if we had our own teachers, they can explain it and they can live it because they feel it. And that's part of the solution towards, if we don't love ourselves, because we got to love ourselves first. You know, self-improvement is the basis for community development. How can we develop our community if we don't love ourselves? It's just a small thing like that. And we don't know who we are.
And that's what I think one of the things we got to do. And because we talk about solutions. And we all been fighting in our own way regularly. I mean, like we've been on the battle, on the front lines all the time, right? But one thing I do realize, I know for myself, I don't know if you feel it, I'm getting old, man. I know it, I'm seriously, I feel it physically getting old. I ain't a young boy no more, right? I'm closer to the grave from age-wise than I am to, that's just getting real. So I know it's time for us to pass the baton. But what I also realize behind us ain't people ready to take the baton because they haven't been trained, right? And that's a problem, right? That I know I say we got 15 good years. If we in these next 15 years don't make some leaders, make some community activists that got guts, we in trouble. I mean, like, cause
we at war. You gotta help some arms.
The difference from us, we all came from the struggle of blacks in our communities, nations, Black Panthers, Ansars. Like, we knew what we was up against. So our spirit is still like that. Even if we have evolved in our thinking, that spirit is still the same. But we don't have the physical energy and strength to match the spirit. The spirit is still there. You know what I mean? It's like I used to ball when I was a young boy. I played basketball. I still got that energy. I can't get on the court and do that. I know it. I won't even try it. Right? I can't do that no more. So when I'm saying what we got to do now, and I ain't with this, we can. 1, 2, 3, 4 is a start. Excuse the language. I'm not going to say it all out. We got to stop being full of, you know what I mean?
Shit.
Too many of us are full of it. We just talking crap. You ain't going to bust a grape in a fruit fight. And I don't mean physically. You ain't going to do nothing. We got to get over that.
That's right.
It ain't just rap. I'm going to really do something. And I say this for myself. Because I had experience with these young boys that get ready to go through. But they ain't going to go to half the crap I don't experience inside them places. But I'm saying, so for me, I'm like, damn, we failed them. Our experiences in the black community, we have at least 500 years worth of incarceration in the heart of Atlantic City.
Absolutely.
Right. You ever thought about that?
Yeah, but some of the incarceration is by design because when because when the Emancipation Proclamation came into effect, 2 years later the Jim Crow law came into effect. Mm-hmm. So they started finding other ways to still make you a slave.
Right.
Not through means of being like how you was, but another form of slavery. And then they formed the prison industrial complex, which is what you were speaking about. and this is what we have now. My question is that did you grew up with your mother and father?
Yes.
You too?
Well, no. Yes and no. No, I grew up in a single mother, but I always knew who my father was. And
did he play his role as a father?
not as I got older, no. No.
Well, he was there. The
I know
element
where he
of
was.
the father was there?
No.
What about
Absolutely.
you?
No, nobody in Piggly Village had a dad.
You know,
maybe like 3 families.
What?
Out of 337
No,
units, maybe like 3 people had a damn house.
That's true.
Nah, seriously.
That's what I'm saying.
And what's
Nah.
the definition of a father? What's the definition of a mother? I mean, who knows the definition what it is? Just like being a man. Who knows what a man look like if you ain't one? One thing you said was very important about the experience.
Yeah.
That experience is something that you can only get when you live and get older. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I always tell my grandchildren, I said, I'm glad to be old. Because as long as I'm getting old, I'm not dead.
Mm-hmm.
When I die, it stops. That's what that dash for, and it ends. So as long as I'm breathing, I feel young.
Mm-hmm.
And we're supposed to not limit our life and our thinking and our experience. It's supposed to go for a lifetime. And what is a lifetime? It's forever if you believe and you doing.
Yeah, but that's wisdom.
Yeah, that's
Right?
something
You're going to be, right now, there's a point where you only the warrior when the village is surrounded.
Yeah.
That's the only time you should be fighting. You should be the wise men training the next groups of soldiers. You're not in the battlefield only if the village is attacked. Now, every soldier got to come, everybody. But who's on the frontiers should be the young people who have been trained and they come back and get the wisdom of the elders. So what I mean by them 500 years of jail, follow what I'm saying. There's nothing about prison that I can't tell you from first-hand experience, from the easiest to get to the worst you can imagine, right? There's a lot of us in our community who can say what that's like, right? That is our college for many black men in the inner city. That's our university. My dad used to say to me when I was young, he'd be like, boy, I graduated from the best university you know. I said, you ain't going to college, right? I said, what university? He said, SWU. I said, what's that? He said, Sidewalk University.
That's right.
My dad was, he was a rough dude, right? But that's an education
Yes, it is.
that you can go to graduate school and you won't have. That's an education. That's real life education. So what I'm saying is that is experience. If we sat down with these people with all this experience, that's like all you can do about is tell jail stories. But guess what? If we don't tell him them, he can live those jail stories himself. Maybe listening to you, he won't live them. Right? When he starts to, but that's all he's good for. He's not going to bring the people together. That's your job. You're going to bring the people together, and you're going to bring in and say, tell what it was like in the county, the worst you've seen it.
But
Tell them what it'd be like in F right or H right lockdown. And that might be enough for him. Maybe he might need Trenton Prison or Rawway or Lewisburg or Florence, Colorado. Some of them will need that. And we got enough people in our community for all those stories. But also we got people who can tell you about college. What it is to go to school and struggle and be pregnant and have a baby and a kid and still get your education and go to your master's degree. We got in our schools people who are doctors, man.
because with the other part is,
We got to put it all together.
if after you blow a trumpet and it's been sounded all over the world that they know the truth, and a lot of people have been touched with Islam all over the world. Now you know you're accountable. Where's your faith? Where's your trust? Where do you fit in with the talent that you're supposed to use for fellow man? Mm-hmm. If you're not doing that, you're good as having your head chopped off.
Yeah.
And it's going to come a day we have to create that type of army without fear to make example out of those who's doing wrong in this inner way. Because we're talking about our survival now. This is, like you said, your father was saying about the streets. Man, if you can't, you can have all the money in the world, but if you can't survive out here in the street, you're good as dead. I don't care how much you comfort in your home, or looking at your cell phone, or the TVs, big screen television, and liking all you want, that ain't gonna make it. You have to be out here and do your part as a human being. And there's no excuse now, you know. And that's why people don't want to hear from black folks all the time. Because we tell them the truth, now you're accountable. White man said, wait a minute, hold on, I know our Constitution didn't work. It was there to keep you enslaved. That's why we had amendments. We say we're going to give you a law, and now, by the time it gets to regulating the law, it has changed and went back to the slavery. And that's what happened with our elected officials. But who has made an example out of them and say, nah, we ain't having that no more. See, one thing I can say about South Africa, Nelson Mandela got free because Winnie Mandela was a black woman. Because she had the army of young people that took the Uncle Tom's and handkerchief heads by the highest pole, as you can see, in that country, tarred and feathered, and made an example out of it. You know what the rest of them say? I don't want to end up like that. What do you need us to do? And the young people said, we want you to fight with all you have to get Nelson Mandela out. It's a fear factor. If you don't fear the God you believe in more than you fear the devil, then you got a problem with yourself. But you're accountable today.
So that's my challenge. And that's why I was saying, like, I don't think this stuff is of no value. Because it's somebody that's going to look at these videos and somebody going to say, you know what? I want to take you up on that. Brother Steve, Brother CJ, you know, Brother Khalil, Brother Amin. I want to join that, right? Everybody want to be on a winning team. But, so I'm saying we got to take a step. And what I would like to do is the same thing we did with the politics. We got together, we made flyers, we assembled people, and we had town halls. We need town halls with grassroots people who really want to work. And in that, you can't be excluding.
Yes.
You can't.
That's right.
So it's going to be some people who ain't sincere. They're going to get rinsed out when the motions move, because the sincerity is going to wipe them out. But at the initial, you need them at the table, because everybody at the table is only for ideas, right? And to know what is in our pool of assets, right? Once we got our pool of assets, and I have this, and you see it all the time. When lions are in the den, the sheep and the other animals, they're going to get out the way. They might come, but when they see us getting ready to be a feast, they're gone. They can't stay in a room with lions.
Every time. That's
You know what I'm saying? So ultimately, the lions are going to prevail.
That's right.
Right? They're going to be the king of the jungle. So we need to find all of our lions, because they're not going to flee.
Right.
Once we get them in the room, all right, the lions is there, we're going to do, because some people, they're going to come with an agenda. Right. Okay, fine, bring your agenda. But we lions, so your agenda ain't going to fly if it ain't sincere. Right. It ain't going to fly because the pace to hang out with the lion you ain't going to have. Right? Right? You're going to get that call when you got to get out your bed 2 o'clock in the morning. And that ain't on your hours of work, so you're gonna come clean. You ain't really down, right? We're gonna get that call when you gotta come out your pocket, and you might only have 50, but that 45 is needed for the cause, for that family, for that, right? You know, that's what. But because we're gonna have those real things. So what I'm saying is, marches is good. March just to get your asset pool, your pool of assets. That's all you want to march for. Who's really here? We know most of this is just going to be for the day or for the weekend, and as soon as the next incident comes, it's all over, it's done. Mm-hmm. And we've seen that. Mm-hmm. But I think wise people want to take this moment and say, now we can get a critical mass that we can work with.
Even
if it's only a few.
Right.
Because I'm telling you, listen, I always go back to criminal days. Why did I say that? Because I can reflect what we did in crime. Go around the city and look at every neighborhood that was doing stuff. Even looking now. Dudes running back Maryland or Stanley, or it was Pitney in my days, or VAC, or 6 bedrooms. It was only a handful of people. It wasn't a bunch of people. These dudes was making money. They was doing their stuff. They was protecting their neighborhood. It was only a handful of people. If you go look, and I look now, and they wasn't even cut like that, most of them.
Yeah.
Because when you go in behind the wall, you see some of these dudes are soft as cotton, right? I mean, really. You don't know it till you ain't got your boys with you no more. You ain't got your pistol. You ain't got your boys. You got to handle yourself, right? And you ain't cut like that. But still, despite that, they was holding down neighborhoods. So that means you do know what to do.
That's right.
Now I need you to know how to transfer your skills. Because you only know how to do what you was doing when you was doing crime. I need you to translate that to legal stuff.
And right there, that's the key.
We're doing it, right? So the same thing we was doing in Pitney Village, that same running and keeping us strong and standing against our enemies, we're doing it in Masjid Muhammad. Same concept. We was doing it in here. We was doing it where, because the lion is the lion wherever you go. We got to produce lions.
Yeah.
My mom said that. I'll share this last story. My mom told us when we was in Pitney, getting in trouble. My mom, single mom, working 3 jobs, 4 jobs, whatever the heck she's doing her stuff, right? And my brother used to complain, oh, if I wasn't here, I wouldn't get in trouble. And my mom said, nah, it ain't where you live at, it's you. Right? And we didn't understand that. When we got older, we made a bunch of money, and we was going in other places still getting in trouble. And I remember saying to him, I was like, no, mom said that. Here we are, in whole different places, getting in trouble. I thought it was only connected to Pitney. It wasn't. It was us. Now, guess what? Now, go back. We've both been out over 20 years, right? And we've been in Atlantic City and we've never been in trouble. Explain. We changed. We still in Atlantic City. Same area, same stuff, same, and we're leaders in the community. What changed? Was it the environment or was it us? It's us. You have the ability to change.
All right, the question is, what changed?
What changed me?
Yeah.
Florence, Colorado. I'll be honest with you. Islam too, but Florence, Colorado. When I realized this is the last stop, you done, bro. It's that's a whole nother.
No, I'm saying, so I would take that point.
Not for everybody. It didn't take my brother that. It took me that.
Yeah.
I was still screwing up, right?
Because
in a different way.
Because I was talking to him like this, when you in the streets, right, your mind frame is totally different. You're not thinking what you would be thinking. If I'm in the streets, I'm not going to think the way you would think, and I'm not going to see things the way you would see things. I'm going to see the things from my perspective. Right. So I'm thinking this way.
That's what I'm saying, but
so no matter what you say to me, it's going to be like,
nah, not really.
Nah,
not really.
He come over here talking that conscious stuff.
Nah, not really. Here's my point. Not really. When somebody like you's talking to you. Do you understand my point?
Yeah.
I've never seen the young bucks, no matter what they doing, say that to me. Never. We go in there, you get respect, because they're going to respect you because, number one, you ain't doing what they doing, you ain't in their affairs, and you actually doing what you talking about, and you used to do what they did. So they understand that.
And that's true.
But you got to show them a way out.
You got to show them, and that's
where the job part comes in.
We'll talk about that.
The business part.
Some things we've been doing for the last few months. It's about accountability, transparency, and economics. So what happened, we put together the roundtable about the agenda. So we met with the Attorney General. The Attorney General chose the jails, highest law enforcement officer in the state of New Jersey. Is Attorney General Brewer. So we knew he controlled the enforcement part. So when they was talking about taking over Atlantic City, remember that? We went to the town hall meeting, and they had everybody there asking them their ideas. We had an agenda and said, here. They said, oh, you want to be at the table? No, we want to set the table. We want to tell you, we're going to let you know and demand where the fork go, where the spoon go, and where the napkin go. It's our table. We're not going to be eaten up and be the meal anymore. Mm-hmm. They didn't quite understand that until we started doing it. Then we started making it real. So then we met with the Casino Control Commission. Commissioner Pelosi. We met with him and told him, listen, the way y'all treat brothers or sisters as they come here for employment, they got to go through this check and that check, and when they appeal it, there's no appealing process. So they said, well, nobody ever came to us even said nothing. Mm-hmm. So is that our fault? But it's about accountability. Right. So our leaders were supposed to have been there to say, hey. So then we found out when it comes to education. So we talked about the Education Commission and let him know that, listen, that whole curriculum of homicide, mandatory or firing, period. Mm. It started with them white teachers. Then we said, wait a minute, there's a genocide that happens in Atlantic City that haven't happened all over the world. And that is that the maternity ward of Atlantic City has been taken away. So the infant mortality rate of killing mostly blacks that live here and can't go offshore to a hospital, they were dying. An example, I had to tell the governor's, the first lady, Tammy Murphy. She came here and had a family day. I said, how are you talking about family day when there's a genocide in our community? Yeah. That's real. So if a woman is pregnant and she has to go offshore and the ambulance come, take her all the way offshore, 15, 20 minutes away, right? False labor. Oh, how am I gonna get back home? That's tension of carrying a baby. When a child is born and there's no pediatric ward, you got to leave that child there at that hospital, way offshore, and then come back. You're killing out. That's gentrification. That's a genocide. Oh, well, nobody never said it like that to us because we're not at the table. We're sitting at the table. Mm-hmm. So those are examples that we're talking about. Now they're gonna give some money for a clinic to be at the hospital, right? The CRDA. We said, no, we don't want no clinic. We demanding maternity ward back. Yeah. We're talking about life and death situations. So the young people that they hear and see, this is a war of even your future before you even begin to be born. This is serious. And then it's about economics. Here they say no money here, but money leaves here every day. Yeah. Plenty of money. Every day. Donald Trump didn't have a name before it was Atlantic City. Yeah. And he sucked up all the money, took it out of here. They amended the legislation, amended for more casinos. Amended it for everything he wanted. What did we amend it for? Did we ask for something? I don't think so. But now, we tell them and we demand it. For a governor to get over 90% of the black vote, and we don't have nothing in 4 years, and you run in Atlantic City, it's something wrong with your leadership, or it's something wrong with us not to hold them accountable to it.
That's the point.
And that's what we're
not holding them accountable because we're not holding ourselves accountable.
Exactly. But we got to be educated in what's going on. And that's why I'm glad what was said about a media. Yeah. See, when we do these things, we just went to the county jail. Met with the warden. Right? We told them about all the things when these brothers going in and out of recidivism. Mm-hmm. Well, you're not correcting the problem. You're creating the problem. Mm-hmm. With drug abuse, you don't have the right counseling in there. The white folks don't know how to give us counseling. Yeah. When in the medical part, nothing but white folks. Yeah. How are you going to relate to a black woman that is going through withdrawals? Or a black man that's going through withdrawals? Are you going to give them some medicine and tell them lay down? I mean, this is serious. But they come back out on our street. Then you spend all that money inside. When they come out on the street, we said, wait a minute, no more of that. They said, well, but nobody came in here and asked for nothing. So we brought a brother in that has a reentry program, right? And we said, you gonna do this? Know what they said? Oh, we already have Jewish family services. I said, wait a minute, hold up. You mean to tell me the Jews the only one know how to do rehab? You mean to tell me the Jews? Now I understand y'all are family, You know what I mean? And you have the contract going to your family members, but it's our dollars that's been taken out of our community, and we're gonna hold you responsible for that. So now, who do you go to hold them accountable? It's the freeholder board, and it's executive, the county executive.
One black person.
Exactly. So what happened? Exactly. But by him being there, he can't be in no comfort zone. Who's holding him accountable and say, look, man, look, come here. You got to walk through these streets. You got voted in because you live in our area, in our community. Your family's here too.
Yeah.
You got to do what we demand you to do.
We got to get some people in the room that got tough skin, that ain't soon as they get criticized, going to crumble and quit.
Right.
Nah, because that's what happens. As soon as you criticize, nah, you deserve criticism. And if the criticism ain't valid, defend yourself and refute the criticism. But if it's valid, you got to accept. Right? So here's what I'm saying. So when we go to tables, like for instance, let's just be real. I'm the only black imam in this area that's a real active imam. I ain't talking about I'm in position and I don't got no control. I'm talking about he's the imam.
Yes.
No doubt about it.
Bear witness to that.
Now here's my point. How are you going to be dealing with Muslims, and a lot of our Muslim young brothers are criminals? So you're going to have to bring Islam in it. Because go study names. These are Muslim kids.
Sure.
So Islam gotta play a role. How you gonna clean our community up? You gonna leave out the black Muslims?
Can't do it.
What the hell's wrong with you? That don't even make no sense. You're not serious, or you don't know your environment because they're not going to. They're Muslims and they're Salam Alaikum and they in it, but they criminals. Some of them.
Yeah. How do you?
No, follow what I mean by that. So what I'm saying, for you to go talk about saving crime and stop it, and then go do something and not call the black imam the only one you got, let me know you ain't serious. You got an agenda. You not serious.
You said a lot like that.
Now I'm being honest. You're not serious, and you can't do nothing in Atlantic City without the youth, except you dealing with young Muslims.
That's right. You make a good point, because one thing we haven't done, and I mentioned it one time before, is that the so-called leaders, see, they the biggest gangs because they sanction off here and there, but we need to get them in the room first. Our youth looking at that.
That's what
Let's
I
get
said.
them in. Why are they so afraid? I know
because you've been in the room, you know the conversation.
We gotta smack some of them.
But that's
you
what I'm
gotta
saying.
smack some of them around.
We gotta
do it. Know. It's gotta be real.
Right now,
and call them out when they don't.
And that's something that got to be done.
Absolutely.
But what I'm saying,
you got to get past that,
because you ain't going without leadership too. And that's, they get us to say you don't need no leadership, but they got definite leadership. All you got to do is look at these impeachment hearings. They want leadership.
That's right.
Yeah.
They serious.
That's right.
Party lines and everything. They gonna protect, and all of them gonna protect their institutions,
right?
Which is really white supremacy.
And that's something.
And that's something that's real.
Right.
What are we doing to protect our institution? And they don't gotta be, because I know we want to be in the political, but some things are just real. That's the reality. Now, until you become a force, you're never going to even the playing field. You got to become a force.
And you make a good point about, everybody plays a role. You can't die for nobody, and you can't live for them. So when your child or somebody in your life do something wrong, and you say, well, I feel bad, or I did it, because you can't die for that person. You can't live for
that I'm glad you brought that up.
Everybody has a different talent. Like, that's what I'm getting.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask y'all. So that's how all this started, because me and him were talking about that this morning when I cut his hair, right? How everybody in this area, some kind, like you said, Atlantic City is all cousins. Everybody know each other. Everybody's related, right? So when some shit like this happens, and there's a shooting, something's violent, of course somebody want to retaliate. You know what I mean? They're going to retaliate, and most people want to do that, right? But now when you retaliate and then some shit like this happens, the innocent people get caught up in it, right? It's like one, we got a problem with nobody want to tell the authorities nothing. They don't want to snitch. And then people want to take the law into their own hands and try to retaliate instead of, like, how do you reach young people who you trying to go to them and you trying to say, look, man, before you do that, don't do that. What other option do you take? And the other part of it, the question is, what about the families who they're not holding their own family accountable? You know what I mean? Like, I've been on that side where, like, my best friend did a heinous crime before. And that's my man. I love him to death. But if you're wrong, you're wrong. I can't be defending you to the family of the victim. You know what I'm saying? Like, we that's a constant. And you was talking about that earlier. Like, how do we address? Like, you got to address these are Muslims that's doing the crime, black people, Muslims, they're young people, but nobody's stepping up and holding people accountable. Like, how do you?
Can I say
Yeah.
that? You know, one thing is about what we all have in common. If we can strengthen that, that's the key. But let's face it, violence is not going nowhere.
It's not. Yeah.
So something's going to happen again.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know when it's going to happen, but let's be proactive in setting up a way or somewhere for people to come to be proactive in doing some things. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, but here's my thing.
But at the
Steve.
same time,
Go ahead.
At the same time, you know, we got a lot of guns out here.
Yeah.
You got a gun every block in both cities.
And we don't address that.
You can have someone on probation or parole in every city, in every corner in Atlantic City. So, again, they're carrying them because they fear. How did the guns get there? There's some questions out there.
That's what we was talking
Now,
about
but this
earlier.
is another big discussion I have with that. I mean, it's way out of our pay grade.
No, you gotta say it. That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
Yeah.
seriously, with these guns, that's a political fight we gotta fight.
Absolutely.
Because these gun manufacturers need to be held responsible. That's a money issue.
That's right.
It's easier to get a gun than it is to get a driver's license.
That's what,
Man, see, but that's
This
what.
is serious stuff
But
in
look-
our community.
But look, that's what my beef is with all of this stuff. And I'm not, like, take what the shooting that just happened. Fuck the street part of it, right? I hate how the media, they sit back and they say, oh man, they savages and you should know what to expect when you go to Pleasantville. No. Look, you gave people guns, right? And then they used them. And then you sit back and point the finger at them, right? I have a friend of mine, right? Not a friend, an associate. He sold guns for years, right, on the street. He told me what he used to do. He was right out here in Atlantic City. He would get on a bus, take the bus down to Florida with a boat license, not even with a driver's license. He would go to the gun shows. He'd go inside, and he would meet the people. He would see everything he wanted, and he would just wait for the people with the federal arms licenses. They would buy everything inside the gun show. He just meet them in the parking lot, buy whatever he wanted, and then he'd get a duffel bag up in guns, get back on the Greyhound, come right back up here, and he'd double the price on the street. You know what I mean? Now, what he was saying earlier, like, if you actually trace where these guns came from, you're gonna find white people though. Right. But it'd be them that's pointing the finger at Chicago, Philly, Pleasantville, Atlantic City, South Central. You pointing the finger, but these people, they got paid twice. You got paid in the gun show, you got paid in the street. Right. You know what I mean? But then you pointing the finger at us and judging us for using
That's what I said. That's a political thing.
Yeah.
But it's something that ultimately got to be addressed. But you're never going to address that until you're organized and they take you serious.
Yeah.
And one part of, you know, that's the strategy that they're using to distract you from the game that's really being played. That's right in front of your face.
Yeah.
And we have to, again, about education. Because if we out there on the street, no gun, not even a penknife, and all them guns on every corner, without a fear, then what is it that you fear that those children can go on the playground, go back and forth to school, no weapons, no nothing. So you as an adult. So, and a lot of the young people tell you, quit. Look, man, and who gonna protect them?
Yeah.
And then I say, where's your faith? Because they thinking that the police supposed to protect and to serve. You know what I mean? I told them somebody, and this is what's supposed to happen. I mean, you gotta look after me. Then next thing you know, the house gets shot up. Or the police come, do an investigation, or the strap, the spot shotter said it was shooting here. That's all. That's it. Where's the protection part when you start talking? And those snitches out there, they don't see no protection. So what do? I have to protect myself. Self-preservation is the first law of nature.
Yep.
But where's the faith? This is why I keep going back to that.
But
The faith part.
We've
We've
belittled that.
Yeah, but when it comes to Jananza in this city, especially Lion City, it's packed. Nothing but Muslims. Nothing but Muslims. And here it is. When it comes to the action of our community, when we tell them to do an action item, I ain't going out there. I ain't scared. But you come into it, someone coming to Jananza with a gun on.
Yeah.
So how much faith you have? And then you shoot the person that was in there next to you.
That's because
we have. But that's
what
what
he's talking about. No, seriously, right? There's other underlining things that this people be working in the black community, bro.
Yes, sir.
From all around the world.
Absolutely.
We the world's dumping ground.
True.
Seriously.
Yeah.
So there's deeper issues religiously that that's what I said. They got it. I just came from Stockton. I gave a talk tonight. And I mentioned that there are many ways that all this stuff happened. It ain't just one way.
Right.
And we got to start looking with we got many ways, man, that this stuff is happening. Now, when I look at the thing about this, because I'm a Muslim, I can tell you how that happens. Because we got Muslims who accept crime, which has nothing to do with Islam. That's just real, right? So, for instance, you can go to different masjids and drug dealers got authority. Like I'm the man around here.
You get a khutbah.
You know what I'm saying? That would never happen in Masjid Muhammad. Absolutely not. Right? You can't be no criminal. You can come pray, but you better not. You ain't walking around here like I'm a criminal and that's not happening. But you got other masjids that they'll come ask you for money, your drug money, and they know you're a drug dealer. Nah, that don't fly. Don't even put your money in the box, bro.
Right.
Nah, we ain't doing that. Here's what I'm saying. So, first of all, you gotta get that element that you gotta start calling them on your practice of Islam.
Sure.
Right? Just like we would call a Christian, or the preacher. If you ain't doing what you're supposed to do, nobody's perfect. But certain things just you don't do.
And I'm glad you mentioned that because the Christians, they don't get away out. Nobody gets a pass, man.
Right.
Because you're accountable because you know.
Right.
Here it is, faith-based, mostly Christianity and Baptists and so forth. When they start touching them government money, they start going out thinking about the street. That's why young people don't go and come to church like they used to. They tell you, I ain't going in there for what? He got the good car, he got everything, but he ain't coming out there. The only people coming back in our street and our community is mostly the drug dealer and the ones that committed a crime. I don't see no lawyers, no teachers, no preachers. They're not out there anymore. I mean, you're so much in the comfort zone that the material money and the God that you represent is the money now, financial.
Yeah.
It's not the people. But you don't live long like that. Tell you, there ain't no living long like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes.
So these are backdoor discussions, you know that, right?
Yeah, I know. We
These
bring
are
it out.
discussions that we got to really have, and then
Understand?
we can't say, because you ain't down, I'm going to stop.
Right.
That's they close that last thing
right.
off.
Good point.
We got to keep working.
That's right.
Right? So,
Good point.
and we got to be honest. Like, I'll be honest, I can't do everything. I can't.
Nope.
I need help. Right? But I'm willing to do whatever I can. And I'm serious about that. But I need you to do your part. I need you to do your part. I need you to do your part. And I do my part. And whatever we missing, we're going to grab it till we get that thing. And then, since we, and I think with us and black men, we got to stop acting like women. We got to be men. And a man knows what he wants, knows what he's going to do, and gonna do whatever he gotta do to get it done. He ain't gonna make flimsy excuses. He ain't doing none of that. Not a man. Even if he's poor, right? He's gonna do whatever he gotta do to maintain his family unit, his community. He gonna do that. So what I'm saying, we get a man like that, and you can't sympathize with it. So if somebody say, well, that's my family and you should, man, that ain't acceptable for nobody. I don't care who your family is. Yeah. My family, your family, that ain't cool.
That's a good point.
And once we get men,
that's right,
not women, even if our women got more money than us, make more money than us, got more education, that's by design. But we as men got to say, listen, we're the men and we're going to run our community. And the women are waiting for that. Because it's the women with these boys, but they don't see no men. They're like, y'all all chumps. I might as well do it myself.
That's right. That's why
how the women feel.
They're always on the front line. It's time for us to step up. And I want to conclude with that because that's actually key. Everybody plays a role. Even if you're a coward and you're too scared to go out there, then you fix us something to eat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you're too scared to be out there, then you spread the lights and tag people. If you're too scared to be out there, you know what I'm saying? You spread, you got some money in your pocket, give the resources so we can start building our own. I mean, everybody can play a role down to the coward and the mouses that we have in our community that call themselves men.
Yeah.
And those boys out there, you play a role too. You want the corner? Let us show you how to really have the corner. This property for sale. This is the monopoly game.
Yeah.
We can show you how to do it.
Yeah.
We can show you how to do it. It's an easy game.
And
it's
we
right
got
in
to
the palm of our
sacrifice.
hand. And we have to sacrifice.
We gotta take a chance. So if I say, and you said it, and then I told you, and this isn't getting done. Now you was talking about investing. And you remember this.
Yeah.
And you said $50, said whenever you're ready, I got my $50. Right? I don't care, I trust you. That ain't my field. That's your field, I invest. And we might lose in that. But I gotta believe in our people.
That's right.
But when you screw it up, I'm gonna hold you accountable. Right?
That's right.
But so when we trying to do stuff, it only take a little bit of people to do a lot when you got sincere people. I'd rather have 10 soldiers, Navy SEALs,
That's right.
Right, Green Berets, than 500 security guards.
Absolutely.
Wouldn't you? Or you rather have 500 security? No, seriously. Because they're going to do work. So let us develop in our community. And they're out there.
Yes, they are.
But it's just you got to put that, you got to become men. And then you got to admit your weaknesses.
Yes.
So, and then you got to accept, and we got to find somebody to supplement that.
Right.
And a week here, you do that, you do that, you do that. And we sit down and put our army together.
And the consistency is very key to the struggle and success. You cannot have success if you're not going to be consistent.
Yeah, you got to do it right
about what you're doing. So if you want to be part of what we're talking about, be sincere and be consistent. Because if not, it's basically the art of war. And when war, you do anything to see your goal for your people. And that's what white folks doing every day. Right? Every day. So it's nothing wrong with us talking about surviving for us. So I want to conclude with that. The consistency.
When's our first town? Black Man's Town Hall.
You name the date and the place, we just have it.
Let's say.
Look, I would say for the record, right? Because me and you ain't never talked about this, right? But this place is open for everything. You know what I'm saying? So we can, if somebody don't want to come, like he's always got the Masjid. But if people don't feel comfortable coming to the Masjid, going to the church, that's why we started doing this. So that way,
you can do that.
You can meet here, we do videos, you go get a haircut, you get some food, whatever. That's what, when I open the place, I open it with that in mind. That's why we got the space. I got 2 floors.
And use that every time you want to get your message out.
Yeah.
Because he's getting a follow.
That's key, because what happened is You know, I like to stay in my lane because you don't stay in your lane, you have an accident.
Yeah. No. That's smart.
That's real. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so what happened is, we want to help build. So what would be nice, you know how some people, they don't have time. They got to go to the grocery store, get a loaf of bread, some milk. You thought about putting a refrigerator in the convenience store right out here in the front?
Yeah.
So I can remember the shop on my way in and out. No, just just
No, I mean we do that.
But
We do that.
barbershops is like the street. It's a comfort zone for everybody.
Right.
You
Yeah.
can talk about anything in the barbershop. So appreciate this, but again, be consistent. What day of the week you want to come back? We need to let people know now.
All right, so let's do this.
We can do
Let's do next Sunday night.
Yeah.
We want to bring, so it's 4 of us here today, black men. We have a goal to bring 10 black men next Sunday.
Yeah, we can do that.
If we can get more, we get more. But let's bring 10 serious black men.
I'm with it. Like,
Only thing with that, we don't come with your resources or your talent.
Right. That's what I said.
Because
Serious.
that's what we're going to hold you accountable
Right.
to. If not, just stay out the door. We ain't got time for it. Just,
We want 10, and preferably 10 men that can influence 10 men.
That's
Yeah.
a good point.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? So if you can't influence 10 men, this ain't your time yet. That don't mean you ain't welcome right now. You can come maybe listen, but we need 10 men that can influence 10 men.
yeah.
10 black men. No women.
No.
10 black men. And the women, they can do their own things when we get them, we start organizing. But we need 10 strong black men who can influence 10 black men. So if you know you only can bring yourself, then you're not the kind of man we're looking for right now.
Yeah.
We need 10 men that can say, you know what? I can bring 10 men. Right? I can bring 10 men.
That's right.
Right? I got 10 black men that'll follow me. You got 10 black men, you got 10 that gave us, in 1 week, we got an army of 100.
Yeah.
And we're going to do something. You're definitely going to do something with this.
Right. So what I'm saying, that's what I said. We got 10-10. So let's not go all over the place.
No, we don't.
We get 3 action items, which we'll talk about right there.
That's right.
3 practical options. So for us to tell them we're going to take on the NRA is stupid. We can't do it right now. So that's not even a conversation we should have. Right now. But what we can do, all 10 of us can start mentoring 10 boys.
Yeah, we can do that. So what time?
So let's say
4 is good.
4 is good. Okay.
Okay,
That's
4 o'clock.
Now
December 1st.
our job, because you got media,
Mm-hmm.
you got to get that out immediately. That's our challenge. Next week, we're going to meet in the barbershop. We need 10 men, black men who can influence 10 black men.
Give me one action item.
Yeah, because that would.
That's what
Mentor.
That to bring it forward.
that's interested in
You said
mentoring.
mentor. And it starts with those that call themselves leaders. We want y'all in here too. We want you in here first.
Yeah.
Because you're supposed to be the mentor.
Right.
already.
So that's what I'm saying. So we get, but the first, because we got the problem of our youth.
Right.
So we want to bring 1 youth. So we got 10 men, and that next item is that we're gonna bring 10 youth.
Okay.
So we got 10 men who can influence 10 other men, and out of those 100 people we got, we only want 10 young black men.
And what comes out of that is that the young black men, because they've been surviving, they're going to teach the men how to be men.
Right?
Because we're
now
gonna use
we
our
trying to
resources and our
serve.
talent.
Now you got 10 kids
Exactly.
that's going to say, yo, this is what we need. Because you're going to talk to these 10 kids.
Right.
Because we mentor them.
Yeah.
Right? And so we mentoring them. We're going to bring them to the table like he was doing. He had them in suits because now like this. Okay, I'll give you an example. We got all these politicians, right, who got funds. They fundraise. And they got to give that money when they use it to charitable stuff. Okay, we got these 10 young boys. We're going to put them in a suit with a tie. We're going to dress them up for business. And we're going to have them, we're going to go visit businesses. And they're going to be trained in businesses. So they can learn. I'm saying, we're going to be serious.
That's right.
And we're not talking about a lot. That's easy. We only talking about 10 people out of a pool of 100. If you can't out of 100 men, because we said there's 10 men starting, these are leaders. These 10 men influence 10, that's 100. If you can't get 10 youth out of 100, you jokers ain't worth nothing.
That's right.
You understand my point? I mean,
The one thing you do on social media is very key, because now everybody that's been pressing can now put that pressing, that light to work.
Yeah.
You have something to do now. Come from behind the camera, come from behind the phone, and come out here and let's do something together.
and as soon as you put this out, with these things highlighted, what we actually going to do, you're going to have a bunch of women
Absolutely.
who will say, take my boy. I want my kid to be one of those 10.
Yeah.
So you have more than 10, but we only want 10.
Yeah.
Because we got to prove ourselves worthy of them children.
Absolutely.
Because we can't just,
Yeah.
you know, and we said, stay in our lane. Let's not do more than we could do.
That's right.
We got 100 people, we could do 10.
Yeah.
Because even if I don't got 3 hours, all I need is an hour from you, an hour from you. Here's, go get this kid. We start, and we use our women who are educated, who know that stuff, to support us. Put them in the natural roles that God gave them. Listen, I need you to put in the spreadsheet. These are the kids we got. These are the mentors we got. These are the hours we got. I need you to put that all together and submit it. We come together, boom.
And this is the prayer that most women has been asking for a lifetime. And they know that it's going to take a men, for us, the ones that have been destroying our communities, to come back and do some good. They've been waiting for that, because they know most of them been destroying it. It's the strongest ones.
So we got to go to they're having the march Saturday. We can pull from that pool to march.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you can't go, we got to have somebody to reach and pull from that.
Let me finish my point about these women, because everybody plays a role, and that's we're going to do our part. Give us the opportunity to do the part for you, and that's very key, because they need to hear that. Because some of them say, "Well, why can't we be?" You've been doing it so long. You built nations. We know you're going to build the nation after we grow and get ourselves together. So just let us do our part.
All right, so that's the deal. So we got December the 1st at Starting 5 Barbershop. What's the address?
711 North Main.
711 North Main, Pleasantville, New Jersey. We calling 10 influential black men who can influence 10 other black men. And out of those 100 men that we have in our access pool, we're going to find 10 black youth that we're going to mentor, we're going to train, we're going to educate, we're going to give them economics, we're going to give them life skills, and that's going to be our first step.
Yes. And they're all going to lead to agenda and a plan that we all have in common and don't mind doing together. And that's how we build and take our community back.
Absolutely.
Good job, you got it.
We with it.
I knew